But I really want to dive into the types of whores, right? So in my experience, I've noticed that there are smart whores and there are dumb whores. Okay. So smart whores are women that, yeah, they're whores, but they do it in a smart way. An example, and I almost feel disrespectful saying this, but I love you, Melania, but I don't believe for a second you were pure before. Donald Trump might have bought it, but I'm not stupid. Okay, I love you, Melania. I think you're awesome. But if you're going to pretend you weren't throwing it back when you were modeling in New York and in Europe, please. Please. Do you know what I mean? Please. So smart whores do keep everything off the internet. So they, women that are whores, I'm not talking about women that are paid to do it. I'm saying the women that love having sex with different dudes. They do it for the love of the game, but they know they got to cash out someday. So what they do, they keep everything off the internet. They'll move away for their reputation, and they are likable, and they just, they like sex. So these women, they focus on giving the guy a very good experience. So he spends the night, she might cook breakfast, she might, give him a massage, but she's smart because she knows she cannot bring purity to the table. She is not going to sell a low body count to this fella. So what she's going to do is she's going to sell a great experience. And the strategy is to hook a guy with good sex and be likable enough to get a ring and a kid. And they wear protection so they don't get an STD, or if they do get an STD, they lie for the rest of their life. Sorry, I hate to say it, but ladies, if you're a woman and you have an incurable STD, okay, the smart ones lie. Now we could talk about morals, but morals, me, I try to keep morals out of this. Who's going to have better results? The woman that lies about having something, or the woman that's honest? Okay. So then we got the dumb whore. So, a smart whore would be Kim Kardashian. Now, Kim Kardashian, she certainly doesn't sell purity, right? What does she sell, right? She sells sex. And yeah, okay, she didn't get a classy guy to marry her. But it's still, one of the greatest rappers of all time. So she said, you know what? I'm going to be beautiful. I'm going to be likable, at least until I get my children. And then I'm going to ruin his life. Now you could say that's immoral, right? That's totally immoral, but it's smart, right? We could say Wolf of Wall Street, right? The guy from Wolf of Wall Street. You could say he's immoral, and he totally is. But he's smart, right? So we're going to continue. The next thing we got is the dumb whores. Like Amber Rose, she was pretty enough to really get anything she wanted. She could have even gotten away with the whoring, but she was dumb enough to embrace the whore culture and make it part of her identity. Brittany Renner is another one. She could have had it all, but she messed up. I wish her luck with this Kevin Gates guy, but now she can't be the wife. She's got to be the second wife. I mean, you got to accept that at some point. All right. So the next thing we got is the happy whores. They embrace being promiscuous, and they found ways to get fulfillment out of life while still being a whore, right? They've accepted that they will just be a girlfriend and never be taken seriously. The happy whores usually have their life or reputation as a whore out in public. They're honest about their whoredom, and these women can get married. Sometimes they do it. But they will divorce the men. And the way they get married again is they gluck 9,000, right? And you guys, I love you guys because a lot of you guys just aren't realistic, right? You guys pretend that those women could never pull one over on you. But I need you guys to get, not all of you, some of you do really well with the ladies, but if you haven't really gotten women like that, you can't say that, these women could never get one. I've seen too much, okay? I've seen too much. Okay, so these women, they're just happy to be whores. They'll be passed around for life. This is kind of like the Lily Phillips, right? Bonnie Blue. they're not really contentious, right? If you get them on a podcast, they're not arguing. They're not really defending their way of life. They're just kind of happily saying, look, I'm a whore. I love pleasing men. That's what they'll say. They're like, yep, that's what I'm here to do. If you don't think that they'll get married, idiots. Guys, did Mia Khalifa get married? Yup. Did Riley Reid get married? Yup. Did Kim Kardashian get married? Yup. They'll all get a taker. Somebody's going to do. Now you might say, I would never do it. I would never do it. Okay, I'm happy for you. Just because you wouldn't doesn't mean that someone will. Lizzo has a boyfriend. And I think that's why, like, men are kind of angry, right? Because they're like, you guys make these terrible decisions. You should not come out on top. They're going to come out on top. Bonnie has been married and Lily wants to be married at some time in an open relationship. Yep. All right. So now we're going to, on being a prude. So this is a article a woman wrote about being a prude. So I realize the idea of sexual modesty might sound a bit quaint these days. Some in the culture believe sex should be as casual as shaking hand. And some self-proclaimed conservatives behave as if they do, even if hypocritically giving lip service to the idea of waiting till marriage. But what sounds modest now seems increasingly radical. Holding out, waiting, not necessarily for marriage, but until you know the relationship at least has a shot at going the distance. Unfashionable, I realize. Guys, women with this mindset, trust. I mean, you can, in the modern, okay, for the men that women want, okay? Now, I am not talking about the men that women pass over. We all know women only go for a small percentage of men, right? So the men that regularly and easily can get sex, the men that women want to lock down. Because I'm not with this idea that players don't ever retire. I mean, they sort of don't, but there's levels, right? It depends how far gone he is. But they value their time too much to wait that long for sex. I mean, Jeff Bezos, you know how he got locked down? Does he have time? Like, his time is worth like $1 million a minute. Does he have time to go get to know a new hoe? Right? High level athletes, high level businessmen, even just men that, like, you know, are busy. They're not going to wait because they don't feel like it. Like, you got like 3 days. Okay, the women like at 20, right? You know, it is funny. Men will go to the ends of the earth to bang a 20-year-old. It's crazy. The things you can demand at 20. Ladies, if you're for the 2 women watching, if you're 20, just know they will not go to the ends of the earth like that forever. They're already going less and less, right? But it's like at 20, you tell a guy you want to go on a date right next to your apartment, you want to be picked up, he'll say, okay, I'm down, right? You say, could you drive like 3 hours to meet me? They're like, when and where? I'm 28. At 28, they're like, yeah, you can near my house or Naski Nada. Unless they're really naive, right? And the older and more experienced, you know, a guy gets, really, they kind of go through this, the juice isn't worth the squeeze, right? Because they bang a really hot chick and she makes his life hell and they're like, eh. They bang a mid. They just keep going through this. Women only stick around if they're getting something out of it. Yeah, I know. Anyways, my point is this. The prudes don't make it far. Because remember, in the modern marketplace, unless you're going through church or some sort of community to get into a relationship, right? But we all know communities are kind of on the decline. People aren't really going outside like they used to. So what does that tell us? Remember, modern dating is sex first, traditional dating is sex after marriage. Women that try to like play, look, it just is what it is. It just is what it is. Some will get the right guy. And look, when you say the right guy, look, I'm not saying none will, right? But a lot of times that's a guy with no choice. Now, I'm not saying, I think most guys who wait maybe a few weeks, like, I don't know, you go on a date a week, like a month. But the more and more experienced and the more options a guy has, the less waiting time you get, right? Because, like, I have a friend, you know, he has 40 matches on Hinge that he doesn't even respond to. Okay. Now, if he has a choice between girl A, who he knows puts out and is going to put out, or girl B, who he can wait a month to sleep with, who do you guys think that he's going to pick, right? Now, if she's really hot, that helps, right? If she's young, that helps. But all I'm saying is the older you get, the less and the more experienced and options the guy has. So will a guy with no options do that? I mean, they'll wait till the end of time. I mean, they'll spend a decade in the friend zone. But women, I don't even think the top 20% or alpha or whatever you want to call it, I don't even think it's really just about money or looks. It's really an attitude. And I can say this because I've seen broke, ugly guys slay. I've seen them pull, right? But they have an attitude of they're not afraid of women. They know how to flirt, and they don't really give a shit. It's like, women love the you can stay or you can go, bitch. And I want you guys to think about these questions.
Talking about how I'm not.
I'm going to show you guys some different types of whores, and we're going to decide together what we think what type of whore this is.
I made a couple of videos talking about how I'm not having sex right now. And lots of guys were like, I can help with that. I just want to make things clear. This is completely by choice. And I'm not knocking the women who go around and have casual sex. I love that for them. It's their body, their choice. Women empowerment. Go for it. I am just simply crazy. If I sleep with somebody, I'm going to become obsessed with you. That's just how it is. So the next person I sleep with is going to be my boyfriend.
So this girl's trying to signal purity with an arm tattoo. And a nose ring. All right, now let's look at her account. Let's see. Do we really think she's celibate? Oh my God.
Bitch, I'm stylish.
Oh, we got a nurse and a bodybuilder.
Talk big t-shirt, Billy Eilish. Watch on my wrist, but I want that diamond.
With a chest tattoo. One of you would fall for it. Okay. So this girl is claiming to be a prude. Okay.
I do not like this song. Santa Claus is coming to town. Do not come to my town.
Okay, next, let's see. Oh, sorry, these are the prudes. So this is what type of prude? So, let me.
I made a couple of videos.
Does it get exhausting to argue with people any day?
Videos talking about how I'm not having sex right now. And
okay, so, but she's saying right now. Remember, that's what we got to keep.
Guys were like, I can help with that. I just want to make things clear. This is completely by choice. And I'm not knocking the women who go around and have casual sex. I love that for them. It's their body, their choice. Women empowerment. Go for it. I am just simply crazy. If I sleep with somebody, I'm going to become obsessed with you.
So this is like a guy saying, I won't pay for a date because if I pay for this date, I'm going to become obsessed with you. The men have to do the character development, right? I'm sure you guys felt that, like you crashed out when you were younger, right? You know, like they have to go through the character development of crashing out and then realizing how stupid they were, right? Women, it's like the same thing. But we like avoid character development. So we're kind of like, I'd rather not be a better person. Actually, let me watch the rest one more time.
With you, that's just how it is. So the next person I sleep with is going to be my boyfriend, and he's going to have to deal with my psycho ass.
Yeah, so again, prude making up for a personality deficit. Crazy and not that hot, right? This isn't... I mean, she's got a great body. I'm sure that really helps, but the chest tattoo doesn't. Yeah, how to lose a guy in 10 days. Yeah, so these are like the women. And again, it's like they want nothing to go wrong. So they're like, hey, I want this. And then they got to put all this pressure that if they don't get what they want, she's going to crash out. And a lot of them do. You know, here we go. She does have a great body. I'll give it to her. Okay, next we're going to do... Okay, so again, this is like a 6. Yeah, I'm going to give her a 6.
No, because I kid you not, all of my friends, almost all of my friends, every time I ask, oh, how did you guys meet? Oh, well, it's supposed to be a one-night stand. What?
Some people say, I got it going in.
So you mean to tell me
Whatever, people are talking.
that I have to hook up with a guy to get in a relationship?
Just 12 hours ago, I saw you.
Yeah. Yup. I mean, this is the contentious, right? Because these women don't know the rules of the game, right? Sex comes before relationships 90% of the time, unless you get a simp that has no other choice. I mean, let me get this straight. Men will have the choice to, or even the guys, they might give you a relationship that have choice, but they might just be screwing other girls too.
I'm not built for that.
Please, I'm done freaking out. Okay?
I'm not.
Yeah, I'm not built for that. Sucks, but it just is what it is. All right. Who's next?
I don't want to have sex ever with anyone. I think I might be broken. I have no connection to it.
Do you know what asexuality is? It's when someone has no sexual attraction to any sex or gender.
It's when women aren't hot enough to get the men they're attracted to. That's what it is. It's, I don't get attention from the men I'm attracted to, so I'll just be asexual.
Sex just doesn't do it for some people.
Oh, but I still want to fall in love.
Well, some asexual people still want romantic relationships, but they don't want the sex bit. And others don't want either. You know, sexuality is fluid. Sex doesn't make us whole. And so, how could you ever be broken?
Yeah, lying. All right, now we're going to go to the types of whores. And then I'm going to do announcements after these links. And then we're going to put a link in the chat.
Okay, the idea that you
No good men will hook up with you on the first date. She married a simp. Sorry, Elizabeth. I'm so sorry. Just because your husband was dumb enough to believe you doesn't mean I am. Doesn't mean I am.
The idea that you shouldn't sleep with someone, particularly men, on the first date because they might not respect you or see you as like wifey material is antiquated. It's stupid. Yes, there are men who say and think this, but they just don't respect women, period, so irrelevant. For the most part, sleeping with someone on day one doesn't really impact your chances with them. I personally have had many relationships and a couple of proposals with guys that I like slept with before really like dating them, like on the first date or even like before the first date. And I dumped all of them. The relationships did not work out. And this is why I think you should not sleep with someone on the first date or the first few dates. It's not because I think they're gonna see you differently. It's because I have dated people that I would never have dated if I had taken the time to go on a few dates with them and get to know them better before I slept with them. Like, I be getting stigmatized. Do not make my mistake. Do not have sex with someone until you know that you fundamentally like them and are aligned with them.
See, I look at her, that's like a chill slut, right?
The idea that
she's just chill, you know. If it goes wrong, she won't crash out. She'll just bang the next dude. Now, will she cheat? Yep. But at least, you know, you don't get the crazy stuff.
Okay, since I'm single, I'm trying to look like hotter at the gym. So I got this 3-pack of bike shorts for $28. and they have the little like very slight ruching on the butt.
Donovan, he said, translation, I slept with bad boys next. Well, all you got to do is just change your language. I'm definitely looking for something serious. And then you can be next.